In today's video, we're going to be revealing my May 2019 mock draft for the upcoming 2019 NHL Draft. Who's in the top 15 this time? Stick around and we'll find out next. Hey everyone, and welcome back to another video here at Top Shelf Hockey. If you're new to the channel, thanks for stopping by. We review and discuss all 31 NHL teams, so if you're a huge hockey fan, consider subscribing and clicking the bell so you don't miss anything. So as I mentioned, today we're doing an updated mock draft here for the month of May 2019. We're not too far away from the actual draft coming up in June in Vancouver. The 2019 NHL Draft looks like it's going to have a lot of great first round selections. So let's take a look and see how the rankings I have today compared to before. The number 15 selection belongs to the Montreal Canadiens, and I have them selecting Peyton Krebs. Now, Peyton Krebs is a player I had ranked up a little bit higher last month. I had him up around the number 8 spot, but currently I do have him falling back here a little bit. Not so much anything to do with himself, more so that some of these other players I think have just been more impressive as of late and certainly have moved up the rankings here. Of course, Peyton Krebs is a 5'11", 180 pounds. He's an energetic, industrious playmaking center who can also play the wing, has a really strong hockey IQ. He's a type of player that sees a player develop before those around him and uses this to exploit his opposition. He has terrific puck skills as well, and I think he would be a great addition here for the Montreal Canadiens. I know they could use a defenseman as well, but I think some of the other defensemen that they'd like to have a chance to draft are going to be taken before they get to their spot at number 15, unless they're able to move up. I think they might end up taking one of the top forwards that ends up falling down here in the 2019 draft. Number 14 selection belongs to the Arizona Coyotes, and I have them going off the board here a little bit, taking a player who's been, for the most part, ranked lower in the first round. Some people even have him later, but I have them selecting goaltender Spencer Knight. Now, Spencer Knight's definitely the top goalie in this year's draft class. There's no doubt about it. Of course, another player from the United States National Team Development Program. He is committed to playing for Boston College, so obviously, as most goalies would be, a wait to get into the NHL anyways. So something that's going to be a few years away, likely before he signs his entry-level contract. He had a terrific performance at the Under-18 World Championships, played 6 games with a 1.51 goals against and a .936 save percentage. He's a solid butterfly goalie with He's a solid butterfly goaltender with explosive side-to-side movements. He communicates well with his D. He's incredibly calm, does not get rattled easy, and I do see him having an excellent shot at being a starting goaltender in the NHL. Of course, the Arizona Coyotes don't have really a long-term goalie outlook, in my opinion. Of course, Antti Raanta has been injury-prone the last couple of years. We saw Darcy Kuemper really run with the ball this past year as well. But long-term, a few years down the road, they're going to need a solid number 1, and I think Spencer Knight might be their guy. John Chaykas had a little bit of a history here going off the board and taking some picks that we did not expect, and I can see him doing it again here at the 2019 draft. The number 13 selection belongs to the Florida Panthers, and I have them selecting defenseman from the National Team Development Program, Cam York. Cam York's your prototypical new age defenseman. He's a great skater who moves the puck quickly and very efficiently. He's originally from Southern California, once coached by Scott Niedermayer. So if he's got anything like Niedermayer in his DNA here, he's going to be a terrific player for sure. He's unfazed by pressure, does not get rattled in his defensive zone. He makes a lot of terrific plays in the power play as well, and he's always improving his defensive game. I do see Cam York definitely going in the top 15. The Florida Panthers could certainly use some help on the back end, and I think he's their guy. The number 12 selection belongs to the Minnesota Wild, and I have them taking a small but mighty goal scorer here in Cole Caufield. Now, Cole Caufield, as we know, has been setting records and scoring goals at an outrageous pace as part of the United States National Team Development Program. Of course, he plays a lot with Jack Hughes, which certainly helps. But if the New Jersey Devils, who hold the number 1 pick and likely, are expected to take Jack Hughes, were able to make any other trades to get another mid-round, first-round selection to try to grab Caufield as well. Those two guys have been absolutely dynamite. They do have 3 second-round selections. Would not be surprised to see Ray Shero trying to make some moves here to get his hands on both these players. And depending on where Caufield actually ends up being drafted, is certainly a possibility. He's been rising in the draft ranking as of late with all the goals that keep going in for him. Another great performance at the U18s. Caufield certainly deserves to be top 10 talent. Like I said, he's really small, which is going to cause some teams to pass on him, unfortunately. But I really think this guy could be the next Alex DeBrincat, scoring at a 40-goal pace in the NHL here in a few years' time. Number 11 selection belongs to the Philadelphia Flyers, and I have them selecting Alex Newhook. Now, Alex Newhook is a Boston College-bound playmaking center who's been playing in the BCHL. He was certainly expected to dominate that league, and he did not disappoint, leading the league in scoring. Of course, he's got incredible speed, dangerous hands, great hockey sense as well, and he certainly has a great shot or pass, so he's deadly in both areas. so it certainly keeps opposing goaltenders on their toes. You're not really sure what he's going to do. Certainly one of the better two-way centers in this draft for sure, and I see the Flyers looking at him as a big part of their future with what they have for their forward core group right now. I think they could use a guy like him to slot in that number 2 center line here in a couple of years' time. But of course, he's going to be playing at Boston College here with Spencer Knight and some other guys for a period of time, so he can be a couple of years away from entering the NHL, but certainly a dynamic player to watch for the future. And the Flyers have also had a lot of good success with players that have gone through the U.S. college system as well. So I see them having a great appreciation here for Alex Newhook. Number 10 selection belongs to the Vancouver Canucks, and I have them selecting Swedish defenseman Victor Soderstrom. Now, Victor Soderstrom, in my opinion, is the second best defenseman in this draft. He's certainly another player that the Canucks really need. Now, as we discussed last time in our mock draft, I also had them selecting Soderstrom at that point, and I do have them remaining with that selection here. He certainly has played well enough to remain to be a top 10, top 12 pick for sure, and I do think he's the best fit for the Canucks based on what's likely going to be available when they make their selection here. Very fast-paced blue liner who does a terrific job moving the puck. He creates a lot of offense as well. He's certainly a very composed, sturdy defenseman with a full toolbox, so he's certainly your complete defenseman, which certainly will complement the likes of Quinn Hughes while on that back end. Of course, they grabbed Hughes with a high draft pick last year, but they need to continue working on that blue line. They've got a lot of dynamic young forwards, and they have some good goaltending prospects as well. The blue line is certainly the area of focus, in my opinion, for the Canucks, and I do think that Soderstrom would be the guy to help move that along. The number 9 selection belongs to the Anaheim Ducks, and I have them taking another dynamic forward from the United States National Team Development Program, Matthew Boldy. Matthew Boldy is certainly a terrific goal scorer, but he's certainly a terrific playmaking winger as well. He has terrific vision, makes him a dual threat. You certainly don't know if he's going to try to shoot or pass, and he has a great deal of skill on both ends of that for sure. He certainly has silky smooth hands, which he was known more so as a goal scorer earlier on, but his playmaking skills have certainly developed quite nicely as well, and I can see him fitting quite nicely here at the Ducks. Of course, he's going to be playing through the U.S. college hockey system as well, but I can see him being a great fit there as they try to get younger, faster, more skilled. They're going to need a top winger like him who can not only put the puck in the net, but be a good playmaker as well. Number 8 selection belongs to the Edmonton Oilers, and I have them selecting a very solid two-way player, Trevor Zegras, also from the United States National Team Development Program. Trevor Zegras does compare in some ways to Jack Hughes, especially from the offensive side of the game, but of course his skating is not at Hughes' level. He's a highly skilled center with a tremendous puck skills and vision. Of course, he's committed to going to Boston University, so like many of his counterparts from the U.S. national team here, they will be going through the college hockey system before making their NHL debut. There's even been times as well where he's played as a winger with Jack Hughes because of his superior playmaking and vision for sure, so it certainly makes him a very versatile forward, a dual two-way threat here, and I do think that he'd be an excellent fit for the Edmonton Oilers. Of course, they like to play Connor and Leon together quite a bit, and if they had a solid number 2 center like Zegras, they could probably do that more often and still be able to balance out their scoring, so I like him as a good fit for the Oilers and what they're trying to do here. The number 7 selection belongs to the Buffalo Sabres, and I have them selecting forward Kirby Dach. Now, Kirby Dach is a pass-first type of center iceman who has great awareness and puck skills. He has great hockey sense as well, terrific skater, good size, has the whole package really. Certainly something I feel the Sabres are kind of missing. I mean, right now, Casey Mittelstadt is certainly one of their top, younger centers they're trying to develop here. I mean, Mittelstadt had an excellent United States National Team Development Program career. He certainly looked pretty decent in college hockey, World Juniors, but still developing at the NHL level for sure. And Kirby Dach and Casey Mittelstadt are very different types of centers. Along with Jack Eichel, that could be a triple threat here down the middle if they take a player of this magnitude. With this selection, he certainly doesn't have the explosiveness with his skating that some other guys do, but he can certainly, play with a lot of vision, a lot of offensive ability here, and maintains control of the puck as well in tight spaces. Does draw some comparisons to a guy like Joe Thornton with his vision and passing skills, protecting the puck, etc. Of course, with his size, that certainly, is a fair comparison as well. So Kirby Dach, I think, would be a good fit for the Buffalo Sabres. The number 6 selection belongs to the Detroit Red Wings, and I have them taking another Western Hockey League center iceman here, Dylan Cozens. Dylan Cozens is a complete player with elite speed and lots of skill as well. Pretty good size, fairly big fella here. Cozens owns an accurate and heavy shot. He's the opposite of Kirby Dach in many aspects here. They're very different type of centers. Cozens is a shoot-first center with a tremendous shot and terrific skills, and I think he'd be a great fit for the Red Wings. Number 5 selection belongs to the LA Kings, and I have them selecting defenseman Bowen Byram from the Western Hockey League's Vancouver Giants. Now, Byram is definitely the top defenseman in this draft class for sure. He's an explosive skater. At times can be a one-man breakout crew here. He blends his terrific acceleration and north-south speed with his lateral edge work. His puck skills are standout as well. And of course, his enthusiasm for jumping into the rush and helping create offense is second to none in this draft class. He's a pretty solid two-way player as well. Certainly has a healthy amount of grit in his game considering his size, but his skating and passing is certainly his strongest suits as well. So he certainly has the potential to be a terrific power play quarterback at the NHL level. Top pair potential for sure. I think with the LA Kings, I think he'd be a terrific fit there. Of course, they have Drew Doughty, who's not super young anymore, and they're going to need a top guy here to be able to run with him towards the latter part of his career and taking over for being their top defenseman down the road. The number 4 selection belongs to the Colorado Avalanche by way of the Ottawa Senators. Of course, that's the pick they acquired in the Matt Duchene trade, and I have them selecting Alex Turcotte. Alex Turcotte has tremendous offensive instincts, quick acceleration, and he's already the most complete two-way player in this draft, in my opinion. Turcotte is committed to going to the University of Wisconsin, and he also missed a lot of time this year due to injuries, but it certainly finished extremely strong. Early in the year before his injury happened, many draft rankings had him around 3, 4, 5. Of course, he's fallen off the way due to his injury, but since he's come back and shown that he is deserving of those spots, many of us, myself included here, obviously have him back in the top 5. Turcotte is a tremendous hockey player, and I just don't see how Colorado can pass him up if he's available at number 4. The number 3 selection belongs to the very lucky draft lottery winners, the Chicago Blackhawks, and I still, just like last time, have them selecting the Russian winger Vasili Podkolzin. There's many people out there with different opinions on Podkolzin. You seem like you either really love him or not so much, and personally, I'm a big fan of his. I think he's going to be a terrific hockey player. He's a very dynamic player. I think Podkolzin is a player that the Hawks will take a chance on. They've certainly had success with players from Russia in the past, and I do see them giving it another try here. He certainly has very high-end offensive awareness, lightning quick hands, decent size at 6'1", 190. Work ethic, aggression, and two-way play are all terrific traits of his as well, and I just don't see how the Hawks can pass this up here. They may have to wait a year or two for him to come over to North America, but I think patience is going to be key with this player. Whoever selects him, and I think it should be Chicago, might have to be patient, but they're going to get an awesome hockey player who's going to be a terrific help to their club in the future. Number 2 selection also belongs to the very lucky lottery winners, the New York Rangers, and I have them selecting from Finland, Kaapo Kakko. Now, of course, the Kakko Hughes debate's been going on all year, and many people out there do think Kakko deserves to be number 1, but personally, I just don't see the Devils passing up on Jack Hughes, which is going to leave Kakko to be the ultimate consolation prize here for the New York Rangers. And personally, I think he's going to be a terrific fit there in the Big Apple. He's got size, speed, ability to finish, terrific vision, and he's certainly the most NHL-ready player in this draft, in my opinion. He certainly played with adults for the bulk of the year, not against teenagers, and really stood out, setting records in Liga as well. So Kakko is a terrific hockey player. So along with the other great prospects that we just seen the Rangers sign, including goalie Igor Shesterkin, Adam Fox, as well as Vitaly Krasov, they're going to be adding the very dynamic Kaapo Kakko. That rebuild is going to be moving along quite nicely in New York. And of course, as we already discovered here, the number 1 overall selection held by the New Jersey Devils is going to be the one and only Jack Hughes. No surprise there. I've had Hughes at 1 all season long. Kakko certainly does give him a big challenge, and I do think there's something to some people giving him the number 1 spot. But personally, I just don't see the Devils passing on Jack Hughes here. I just think it's too good of a skater. He's got elite skating ability, elite offensive skills, and I just don't see them passing that up at all. Jack Hughes has been a number 1 for most people all season long. Again, I would not be surprised to see the Devils, with those 3 second-round picks, try to make some moves to maybe acquire another first-rounder as well, to see if they can grab his dynamic goal-scoring player in the United States Development Program there, Cole Caufield. Those two have been dynamite all year, and if the Devils can pull that off, then they'll have themselves quite a dynamic duo for years to come. That is my top 15 mock draft for today for May 2019. Of course, I want to hear your thoughts, your opinions down in the comment section. Who do you believe these teams should be selecting here? Of course, I try to do my selections based mostly off team need, but you do have to factor in best player available in the prospect ranking system here as well. So I'd love to hear your thoughts and opinions, and we can continue the conversation in the comment section. If you're new to the channel here, I hope you consider subscribing. We cover all 31 NHL teams, and there will be extensive coverage of the 2019 NHL Draft, so stay tuned for plenty more videos just like this one as we approach the draft in June in Vancouver. Thank you very much for watching, and I will catch you next time.